Hello everyone, today I will share how to implement multiple partitions when SD boot with MA35D1. MA35D1 adopts MBR partitioning scheme, which supports up to 4 primary partitions. To create additional partitions, an extended partition must be defined and further subdivided into logical partitions. Before proceeding, let's first understand the structure of MBR. Please refer to the table below. The MBR structure has a total of 512 bytes, comprising the following sessions: the code area, disk selection flag, partition table planning, and flag. The maximum size of the code area can reach 446 bytes. Partition table planning occupies 64 bytes. The last 2 bytes contain the flag, 0x55AA. These parts together form MBR, with a total size of 512 bytes. As introduced earlier, the MBR structure includes a partition table. The MBR supports up to 4 partitions, with the partition table occupying 64 bytes in total. Each partition entry is 16 bytes in length. The details are as follows. 00H is the partition state, occupying 1 byte. 01H is the starting head number of the partition, occupying 1 byte. 02H is the starting sector number of the partition, occupying 2 bytes. 04H is a file system flag that occupies 1 byte. The commonly used values are 04 for FAT16, 07 for NTFS, and 0B for FAT32. 05H is the end of partition head number, occupying 1 byte. 06H is the end sector number of the partition, occupying 2 bytes. 08H is the relative sector number at the beginning of the partition, occupying 4 bytes. 0CH is the total number of sectors in the partition, occupying 4 bytes. The format of the extended partition record in MBR is identical to that of the primary partition. Each entry is 16 bytes in size, and the value of the file system type at the offset 04H is 0x0f, indicating the extended partition. The format of logical partition is the same as the MBR format. The first 512 bytes starting from 64 kilobyte before the logical partition start address also have the same MBR format and end with 55AA. On MA35D1, the partition is divided into 1 primary partition, 1 extended partition, and then 4 logical partitions on the extended partition. Taking this as an example, please refer to the partition diagram below. The main partition has 240 megabytes, plus 32 megabytes for boot, plus 4 megabytes for alignment. The end address is at 276 megabytes. The extended partition starts at 280 and ends at 400 megabytes. The start address of the first logical partition is aligned with the start address of the extended partition by a 4 megabyte alignment. The start address of the first logical partition is 284 megabytes, the end address is 304 megabytes, and the size is 20 megabytes. The start address of the second logical partition is 304 megabytes plus 4 megabytes, which is 308 megabytes, and the end address is 332 megabytes, with a size of 24 megabytes. The start address of the third logical partition is 332 megabytes plus 4 megabytes, which is 336 megabytes, and the end address is 360 megabytes, with a size of 24 megabytes. The starting address of the fourth logical partition is 360 megabytes plus 4 megabytes, which is 364 megabytes, and the end address is 388 megabytes, with a size of 24 megabytes. After the theoretical partition design is completed, the next step is to implement the modifications. First, update the script postimage.sh located at board/nuvoton/ma35d1/postimage.sh. When creating the extended and logical partitions after the primary partition, ensure that the starting address of the first logical partition is offset by 4 megabytes from the starting address of the extended partition. After the theoretical partition design is completed, the next step is to implement the modifications. First, update the script postimage.sh located at board/nuvoton/ma35d1/postimage.sh. The default configuration defines a primary partition along with the starting position for an extended partition and its logical partitions. The start address of the extended partition is 280 megabytes. The end address of the first logical partition is 304 megabytes. The start address of the second logical partition is 308 megabytes. The end address of the second logical partition is 332 megabytes. The start address of the third logical partition is 336 megabytes. The end address of the third logical partition is 360 megabytes. The start address of the fourth logical partition is 364 megabytes. The end address of the fourth logical partition is 388 megabytes. When creating the extended and logical partitions after the primary partition, ensure that the starting starting address of the first logical partition is offset by 4 megabytes from the starting address of the extended partition. After creating the partition, it is necessary to add the corresponding partition table. Locate the appropriate section in the file to create the partition table file and generate a new partition information file. For the first logical partition, it is combined with the extended partition. The skip parameter is measured in sectors. On the platform, one sector of the SD card equals 512 bytes, meaning 2 sectors equal 1 kilobyte. Therefore, the starting position for the extended boot record, EBR, must be converted into the number of sectors. Note that the EBR is located 64 kilobytes before the starting address of the partition. The conversion process is as follows. 1. Convert the partition's starting address to kilobytes. 2. Subtract 64 kilobytes from the result. 3. Multiply the value by 2 to convert it to the corresponding number of sectors. For core files that can be written using the dd command, if there are files that need to be preloaded into a new partition, perform this step. Otherwise, it can be skipped. Refer to the modifications highlighted in the red box below. Assume the new file names are my_disk_part.xt4, my_disk_part2.xt4, my_disk_part3.xt4, my_disk_part4.xt4. Use the dd command to write each file to its corresponding address individually. For the pack file, it is necessary to modify the file path below, MA35D1 buildroot/board/Nuvoton /MA35D1/newwriter/pack_SD card.json. Pack the newly added partition files. Add a partition information file under the file. Note that the offset here refers to the addresses of EBR and LBR calculated earlier. These are hexadecimal addresses, not sector numbers. We need to convert the previously calculated number of sectors into hexadecimal addresses, that is, multiplying the number of sectors by 512. If there are files in the corresponding partition that need to be packed into the partition, refer to the above to place the corresponding files in the desired location. After compilation, burn and boot up, the partition information under uboot and Linux is as follows. Use mmcpart to view partition information under uboot. Use fdisk-L to view partition information under Linux. That's all for today's video. Welcome to Scan the Code and follow Nuvoton website to get the latest product information and event updates. Thank you.